Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Michael. I'm the founder of Back to the Future Trading, and I'm here today to talk to you about the times that banks are using to push markets higher and lower, and how we can use those times to predict in the future when moves up or down are expected. And one of the ways that we accomplish that is through the use of data mining. And before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that we have one of the highest rated customer bases in the industry. We're averaging around 4.8 out of 5. And the program that I'm talking to you today about is the one that most of the people are commenting on and talking about. And so when we're referring to the software here today, if, as many of you have done in the past, gone through and read the reviews or watched a webinar on our YouTube channel, TimeWarp is the program that we've discussed in the past and are using to anticipate movement in and predict the movement of after the fact. Time is a weird thing, and it's not something that a lot of vendors have embraced at all. You see, most of the companies, like the ones Billy's checked out, the ones Leonard have looked at, they focus on price action. And by now, if that stuff worked, more than 5 or 10% of people who set out to do this would be successful at it. And about the same number of people that 15 years ago when we started were successful are successful now. And so the same stuff that's out there sold by the same marketing companies to the same people, it's just not doing it. And so we, my partner and I, he's a really cool dude, we kind of set out to figure out how markets really work. We're engineers. I'm a mechanical engineer. Ron's he's an everything engineer. If it can be welded or wired or glued or forged, Ron can do it. And so we always try to understand, how does this thing that we're working on actually operate? And so we started focusing on time. And one of the ways that we use to prove that this software works is by giving people the times and the directions that markets are likely to move in the future. Many of you here today are customers because you went through this process. And if you've gone through the website with us, if you've taken our video demo on the website, then you already know how this works. We're basically able to tell people in advance, before the webinar, long before Thursday, Tuesday, or earlier, we update this page, and we basically kind of dare you to follow along. Now, what is this indicator telling us, right? You say the word indicator and everyone goes, oh, I'd never buy an indicator again. Oh, well, you should never buy the same kinds of indicators you've bought in the past. This is different. I've started using AI in my workflow. AI is helping me write blog posts for the company. AI is helping me design images for my blog post. AI is helping me write emails and translate and dictate. It's a work aid. AI is helping me by taking thousands of pieces of data that, as a human being, I have a hard time parsing and assembling, and doing that for me. And while I can't say that a learning model developed this histogram, there's about 22,000 lines of code in the indicator that sat down and looked backwards and said, When can we expect the E-mini S&P to go up or down on Thursday? That's a pretty tall order. And so I want you to remember this TachEon Warp indicator for NinjaTrader produced this piece of information, and it has been available since Tuesday. Now, today is Thursday. As I get older, I have trouble remembering what day it is. I do so many things here. I'm up at 5:30, 6 o'clock most mornings putting out information into the trading groups that I'm a member of, getting a trading plan together, getting workspaces ready. And it's easy for me as a 52-year-old man to sort of lose track. But I do know that this chart was available on Tuesday, and it was warning us what was likely to occur on Thursday. Now, the reason this is important, the reason I picked this chart and this market is that it's the one most of you broke your skulls on. It's the one that most of you were told by your celebrity guru vendors you needed to trade. Well, Joseph, I recommend you trade the E-mini S&P because when I'm through with you, you're going to be trading hundreds of contracts. And you just can't do that with NASDAQ, am I right? Yeah, in just a few short weeks, Susan, with my proven WYSIWYG system, you're going to be trading with 50 ES contracts, making millions of dollars. And the only market we can do that with is the S&P. Right, that's what most of us were told. And so many of the new prospects that are coming are looking for answers, saying, why can't I trade the S&P E-mini successfully? Well, the program on Tuesday looked back historically, and it asked a very simple question. It said, are there any times in the last several thousand bars, the last several weeks, that banks or whoever, aliens, Obama, whoever you believe is moving the markets up and down, are there any times where that stuff is occurring with regular irregularity? Anomalous times that for whatever reason over and over again keep going up or down. And the program came back and it said, hey, I found something. And all of these times on the bottom, which are Eastern Daylight Time. I'm in North Carolina. I used to live in Long Island, in New York, East Coast guy. All of these times were the computer saying, hey, for whatever reason, when we get to Thursday, these are the times we're expecting the market to go up. Now, that sounds ridiculous. Ridiculous. It sounds crazy. But we'll see in a moment how crazy that was. The program also said, hey, while you're sitting here listening to me, these are the times historically, the irregular regularities that markets have been pushed down by Santa Claus, by the Kwanzaa tree, by a leprechaun, whoever you believe. Thanks, Obama. Whoever you believe pushes markets up or down. The software was warning us that these were prospective selling times, right? And so the only reason these signals exist for us to look at, the only reason they're on the screen is because over the last several weeks on Thursdays, this is what usually happens. And the media, the reporting sites, the talking heads, the gurus, the discords, all of that noise distracts you from the fact that these times keep pushing markets up and down. They want you to believe it's random. They want you to believe you need them. They want you to believe that you have to watch these reports and listen to what's going on. And here's this chart just sitting here saying, would you watch just one day? Would you watch just one day and see if this is going to work? Okay. Now, I've been doing this for 15 years. 15 long years of people ignoring me, mocking me, complaining about me, and I still get to show up every Thursday and show you what happened at these times. It's the coolest thing I get to do. So I want to show you two things before we look at the chart, because the most important thing that I can do is inspire belief. I'm not asking you to believe in Bigfoot. I'm not asking you to invite Jesus into your heart. I'm asking you to believe that JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank and Credit Suisse and all of these guys are manipulating you. They're pushing through stops and driving markets up and down at pre-planned times. That's all I'm asking you to believe. That's it. Most of you believe it in theory, but few of you trade like it's true. And I want to maybe convince you that you're almost where you need to be. I want you to see where it says 1230 on my chart. Leonard, you see that? You see how it's a blue dot? That 1230 on my live chart today corresponds with what I sent out to about 18,000 people on Tuesday. The program was warning us there was a potential sell signal at 12:30 today. Now, what happened at 11 o'clock today? Who was jabbering today? Whose jaw was moving up and down today again? Anybody? Leonard says, I was talking today. Not you. Who had a lot of power to move markets today and decided he was going to say a bunch of stuff again? Powell. Powell was talking again today. We also had an unemployment report this morning. Lots of big news, Mary. Lots of big news, Billy. So these times should be meaningless. Who knew what Powell was going to say? Well, let me rephrase that in the form of a question. Who knew what Powell was going to say today? John, Joseph, who do you think knew what Powell was going to say today? That's right, all of his buddies. Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan. Okay, here's another signal, 3 a.m. And Leonard, you see how that was a sell signal and it's a blue dot on my chart and 3 a.m. is over here too? Yeah. And then 350 is over here to the right. So the times that were sent out to everyone 2 days ago are in fact the times that are on my chart right here. And I want you to see what happened 2 days later, before the unemployment report numbers were released, before Powell sat down and started talking. What happened 2 days later at those times? Huh. Leonard, Billy, Billy. What are we to make of this? Am I the fraudster that people say that I am? A guy left a review today and he said, this stuff doesn't work at all. What time did Powell start speaking today? Anybody? Let's take a look. I'm gloating a little bit in case you couldn't tell. I'm gloating. I want to mock those of you who are trading the old way and losing and complaining, because you don't have to do it that way. What does it say right here? 8:30, unemployment claims. 12 o'clock, Fed Powell speaks, Fed chair speaks. So everything around this time is probably really important, right? It's red. Forex Factory is saying, don't even trade. Scary. Well, look, what did the software tell us was going to happen right before Powell started speaking? Mary? There's 11:15. What did the software tell us was going to happen at 10:30 before he started speaking? At 8:40 after the unemployment report? What did the software tell us would happen 30 minutes after Jerome Powell, federal chairman, started talking? Leonard, it's not looking good for the random people, is it? It's not looking good for the price action traders and gurus and the volume followers and the order flow analysts, is it? All of those people who say you must sit there, watch every tick, every bar, gotta watch the delta, need that level too. Keep your eyes on the volume, people. 2 days later, 11:15, how high did it go? From the close of that candle, it went up $37. How far down did it go? Went down $5. 12:30 comes, there's the high. How far down did it go by 1:45? It went $30 straight down. How high did it go? It went 2 ticks against you. Oh, I'm sorry. It went 7 ticks against you before it finished down. What's happening on this chart? I don't understand. The markets are random. You need to use all this other stuff. I have to sit here all day. How am I going to overtrade if I know in advance how many signals are coming? How am I going to revenge trade? Michael, how is my broker going to eat? His kids need my commissions to go to school. How is his wife going to afford that Lexus on Christmas if I'm not trading 30, 40, 50 times a session? If I'm holding a position for 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes? Can anyone else explain what happened? If I need to, I'll review what we said we were going to do. If I need to, I'm going to give you the times in advance. I'm going to give you the directions in advance. We're going to come back 2 days later and see if it worked. Who else is doing this? Who else is doing this? Nobody. Because it's hard. That's what she said. Let's fast forward to this afternoon. One of the hardest markets to trade. One of the hardest markets to trade, they said, is the E-mini NASDAQ. It's the hardest. Don't touch it. Don't touch it! And yet, when we get as far away from the forecasts as we can get, on the hardest market, we're told you can trade in the futures market. When we get as far away from those forecasts as we can get, I want you to see something. This was sent out on Tuesday for the 1 minute E-mini S&P. So if you're keeping track, all of Tuesday went by, all of Wednesday went by, and by this time in the afternoon, almost all of Thursday has gone by. All of this day, 24 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours later, after the forecasts were given. We were waiting for a move down at 3:20 Eastern. We were waiting for a move up at 3:25. We were waiting for a move down at 3:40. We were waiting for a move up at 3:49. We were waiting for a move up, down at 3:51. We were waiting for a move up at 3:57, which didn't happen. We were waiting for a move down at 4:07 and waiting for a move up at 4:11. There's one more here at 4:26. It wasn't published. Billy, Leonard, holy crap. What's going on? That's as far away from the forecast as you can get in the market that we're told is impossible to trade. And using a method that no other vendor has the cojones. No other vendor has the cojones to try this because it's so hard. 22,000 lines of code for one indicator whose only job it is to prove what direction a market is going to go in the future. Seems pretty ridiculous to me that seeing this evidence, people still don't believe it. Now, if we're looking at the signals, right, and we're keeping track, we can go back over time and get a feel for the entirety of the day. It wasn't just the afternoon. Remember, Powell spoke at 12 o'clock. What did the program tell us to watch for on the 1 minute NASDAQ? Buying. It was falling, 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 and then, Leonard, look, somebody stepped in. Somebody stepped in and kept the market from going down. And somebody started buying, Ian. And then they came and ran through the stop. And at 12:26, 2 days after I gave you the forecasts, the market fell. How far did it fall? It fell all the way down to 1238, $186. That's almost $3,000 or $4,000 per contract full. It's almost $300 or $400 per micro. This is an $1,800 move or a $180 move. And for the most part, look at what's happening at the signal times, even during the early morning session and the European session. It's doing the same things this morning. Holy heck. It's doing the same things yesterday and last night. This is while you're eating supper. Did you know you could trade the NASDAQ while you're eating supper and make hundreds and thousands of dollars? And you can know the times, Leonard, while you're eating your fettuccine Alfredo or your shredded beef brisket bowl. You could know the times the markets are likely to go up or down. Trade the sell signals in the direction of the trend. Trade the buy signals in the direction of the trend. And by the way, here's what happened yesterday at those same times that I gave you. Holy heck, guys. Did someone have a plan yesterday at 10:22? Sure did. Did someone have a plan yesterday at 10:16 and 10:12 and 10:01 and 9:42 and 10:55 and 10:41? Somebody tried to buy right here. It didn't work. This works on multiple markets. If you were following gold futures today, Leonard, I got news for you. Gold is extremely manipulated. Now, there's a problem. What's the problem? The people who manipulate gold actually went to jail. I don't know if you read this or not. It's probably not on your reading list. The Department of Justice, based on egregious market manipulation, sent two people from JP Morgan, again, who gets fined billions of dollars a year, to jail. Which markets were they manipulating? Precious metal futures contract over 8 years involved thousands of unlawful trading sequences. Now, that doesn't sound good. Anthony, does that sound good? John Houston, when you sit down, did you know the most powerful bank in the world is involved in thousands of unlawful trading sequences in the markets you're trading? Thousands. And it's so egregious. They manipulate the market so much that the government, their friends, the guys that took the bribes from the lobbyists, say, Bill, a little too much, Bill. A little too much, Reginald. Got to go to jail. And so 2 days ago, 2 days ago, the program said, hey, Leonard, I got bad news for you. When we get to Thursday, I know you think they got all the bad guys. Here's what JP Morgan's planning on doing in the precious I can't even say it with a straight face. I know you think the markets are fair. I know you think nobody knows what the unemployment report is going to be. I know you think nobody knows what's going to happen overseas in the war, but everybody knows. And when we got there 2 days later, you see where it says 1:15, 11:05, 12:20, 1:15, 11:05, 12:20. Billy, did JP Morgan have a plan to drive the prices of gold futures down at 9:50 today? Did JP Morgan have a plan to drive the prices of precious metal futures up at 11:05 today? Did the same company that these men were led out of in handcuffs replace their bodies with two new guys who drove the prices of precious metal futures down at 12:20 today? Explain it. Please, somebody explain it to me. Help me understand how I'm misleading people. You can't do it, can you? In the same email that I sent all of you, I gave you a very basic trading system. And I said, hey, when we get to these times, We'll be showing how we can trade them. We'll be using a 120 period moving average, 120 period moving average. And we'll be looking for signals in the direction of the trend primarily. And so at 11:05, we can go long until 12:20. At 8:40, we can go long until 9:50 for a loss. At 1:15 Leonard, we can go long until 2:05 for a gain. At 2:10, we can go long until 2:25 for a loss. And at 3 o'clock, we can go long until 3:45 for a gain. Now, I know it's hard to see, but if we take the times that I gave you before the market opened, this is negative $80 per contract. This is positive $850 per contract. This is positive $1,250 per contract. This is minus $210 per contract. And this is positive $430 per contract. So losers on the bottom, winners on the top. Billy, 2 questions. Does the software help where to place the stop loss? You see the dotted blue and white lines? That's the stop loss. I'm not making it up either. I told you in advance where it would be. I told you where the stops would be in advance. What? How is that possible? A 1.5 average true range volatility stop will be used in the setups for the Thursday demonstration. Billy, can you see that? So no way I could make that up after the fact, right? So if you look at the software, there's a parameter here. It says 1.5 volatility stop offset, which means the stop is the average height of a bar, a 5-minute chart, plus 50% more away from the candle. So 1.5 ATR values from the high, 1.5 ATR values from the low. Billy, tell me if that makes sense. The signals appear on candle close. So Billy, we don't know what the ATR is of that candle until it closes, right? Once the candle closes, they'll never repaint because that is always what that value was. To the right, the dots are just being held as placeholders. Their height is insignificant. They're just there to tell you, here are the next signals, because some people, Billy, don't use the bottom histogram. They like to keep the chart clean. So you don't have to have the bottom one there. The chart lets you plot the dots in the future. Now the question is, does a 1 minute or a 5 minute, what's the time frame to use? Most customers, when they start, are trading intraday anywhere from a 1 to a 5 minute bar. 1, 3, 5 are the most commonly traded and analyzed time frames. But Billy, this is a 60-minute chart right here. Can you use the same methods on a 60-minute chart that you use on a 5-minute chart if you want to place a micro contract or a swing position trade? Does the concept work the same? Could you maybe try your luck at 7 o'clock tonight until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to see if it's going to move again $750 per contract, again $4,700 per contract, again $700, again $1,100? Is there a chance, Billy, from 9 o'clock tonight, 7 o'clock tonight until 9 o'clock tomorrow, it might go up even more? What do you think? So which time frame is better? The one you trade, the one you're comfortable on, the one your risk reward threshold aligns with your actual fund balance. I have customers that have $500,000 accounts. I have customers that have $50,000 accounts. Some of you are qualifying on a $25,000 Apex chart to get funded. You can't use a 60-minute chart and qualify on a $25,000 time frame. You're going to have to use a smaller time frame. Billy, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Leonard? Okay, cool. And we're not only looking at small intraday markets, we can look at markets like NVIDIA on a daily time frame. If you're following me on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, I've posted reels weeks in advance telling you what the dates were for markets like NVIDIA or Amazon or Bitcoin. Big sweeping moves, right? SPY as well. And I've been telling people about it. And the moves, Billy, keep happening exactly when I'm telling people in these videos, which are online. You can see before and after what was expected and what took place. Are there resources to help pass Apex accounts? Absolutely. There's actually 2 resources. And those resources are good for a number of things, actually. One of the things we have, Billy, is an online Skype group. And the people that are trading in the online Skype group are sharing their signals with each other. They're sharing their best settings with each other. They're sharing their Apex results with one another day by day to see what they're doing and how it's working. And so that's one of the other resources. Billy, we also have a pro staffer on board right now. This gentleman here, let me see if I can find it. This gentleman right here, stand by. Billy, this gentleman has 20 Apex accounts that he was funded for. He has on average a 65% success rate trading the 1-minute NASDAQ at the time of this. And his profit factor is about 1.5. And he took a 150K account, qualified, and now has $190,000 in it. And you can see with his trade replicator, he's able to span multiple accounts with one trade at the same time. But Billy, he's available for mentoring now. If you're a customer working with Apex, ask Rachel about Dorian Cox. And he's available now as a resource if you need tutoring and mentoring on how to pass and get funded and continue to fund yourself. So we've actually brought customers in as consultants to help us train people who are going through that process. But Billy, you need the program before you can do it. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Any other questions as we start to come around full circle and wrap things up? Any other questions? We set out every week to do the same thing. We give the times out in advance because no one believes this is possible, but everyone knows something's wrong. All of the traders, if you put them in the same room and we took a survey, we took an informal temperature of the room and we asked everyone, how many of you believe that someone in an office somewhere has a plan for the markets today? Most everyone in the room would raise their hands. Most every single one of them would raise their hands. And when it comes time to put rubber to the road, no one wants to do anything about it. They are content. They are content to trade with the same old tools. So when we come back 2 days later, Leonard, one candle, okay, I'll take it. Of everything I've shown you, don't be the guy who finds the one discrepancy, right? But right here, it was a loss. Yeah, okay. What's your point? What are you trying to tell me? If you believe these things and you don't act upon them, I got nothing for you. What you're doing isn't really trading then. Trading seeks to understand why markets move. What are the big boys planning to do? How do we trade when they trade and get out in front of it and do what they do when they do it? Here's the answer. I don't know how else to prove what we were going to say happening. No, the data sometimes between Tradeovate and TradingView and NinjaTrader is off. They have different data feeds, Leonard. That's a known incongruity. Different brokerages report the data and the time of the moves differently. Yeah, it's not something we control, unfortunately. I can only control really nothing. Almost everything in my life is out. I can control what food I put in my big mouth. And I've done a really good job with that lately. Those of you inquiring about my health, I've gotten back into a healthy routine again where I was pre-COVID, and I feel great. The pounds are coming off, my brain's starting to feel better, getting lots of vitamin D and sunshine, all the good stuff. So in the end, does the software provide an edge? Yes, it's providing an edge to our customers. It's providing an edge to us in the live markets that we're following. Whether you're a forex trader or a futures trader, here's the euro dollar, for example, on a daily chart. I've been broadcasting these signals on our TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube channels. And this is for NinjaTrader NT8 right now, yeah. Yeah. And Leonard, if you traded these signals on Forex with a micro futures contract for the euro, or you traded them with a micro lot or a mini lot in a Forex account, you'd have paid for the software by now. And now it's just working for you for free. So futures, Forex, crypto, and stocks and options, all of those opportunities are available to you. Whatever time frame you trade, whatever market you trade, we can help you find those times. All right, the program that we're talking about is TachEon Warp. It's our flagship product, the one that everyone's rating 4 and 5 stars when they purchase and they use it. The link for that program is going to appear in your GoToWebinar chat box. Billy, you've been here a couple times. Leonard, I know you're waiting for your stuff to get started, but at the bottom of that page is a link that you can click on. We have a live trading room. Most of the time, one of the customers who's gone on to be net profitable with the program, Colin, if you've met him, is trading live in that room, and many people choose to come in and follow Colin's trades because he's using the time signals. I also have a live trading room that meets Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can inquire about that if you want to learn more. If you're a new customer or an old customer, you can ask me or Rachel for information about that. But we have rooms that are meeting live during live markets, so you can see those signals and understand when those moves are coming in a real-time environment. Thank you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, if you can, I'm going to come back and ask you to write a review for us, if that's okay, good, bad, or indifferent. Is it all right if I send you a request here after the webinar, just so you can share your experiences with people? It would help us out a lot. Thank you. So if you want that, you can add it to your cart. It's 25% off if you buy it. If you don't want it, don't buy it. We don't care. We got plenty of customers. We don't need you. No. There's a purchase agreement. Please read it. Please read it. It covers a lot of stuff. Basically, you make sure you understand you can't be a jerk. You can't curse people out in an email and be abusive with our support staff on the phone because you ordered tuna salad and you got chicken salad instead that day. Please don't try to put this on a really old computer from 1979. It's not going to work on a Commodore 64, right? You got to have at least 2 gigabytes of RAM. Minimum PC requirements, at least a P4 or higher. Please don't try to steal the code. Some of the customers in the past have tried to hack this program unsuccessfully, and we're going to find out. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so click on that, and then you're going to have to agree to the terms and conditions here to make sure that we know that you know that you know that we know you agree. And there's a promo code, WARPOFF, WARPOFF, WARPOFF. And when you put that promo code in, it's going to take a whopping 500 smackers off of the price of the software. I'll write it out here for those of my dyslexic friends, WARPOFF, no spaces, no caps. We'll take $500 off. You get 2 computer licenses, lifetime licenses for NinjaTrader. You also get lifetime updates on the indicator. So as we make improvements to it, we have some in the works right now. Those will be included in new versions of the software are available in the Customer Resource Center that you'll have access to. There are no additional fees or charges. There's no yearly maintenance fees on the program. Again, those updates right now are included for life. We do have a video training archive that has everything from getting started videos, how to do this, how to do that, how to change this, how to change that. Follow those in sequence once you get the software. We also have mentoring opportunities available with myself, my partner, a new trader, and a veteran Apex investor now. Any one of those 4 people can work with you privately if that's a way you learn personally. We are in business for 15 years. We are an American company. There's a staff of us between all the contractors and myself of about 5 or 6 people. And again, we have a 4.8 star review with Trustpilot, actual people, actual customers who actually sat in this webinar and purchased what you saw today. Any questions? How do you get the power zone boxes on your charts? Ken, are you following Ron's system with the power zone from the Pro Room? Or are you talking about the pattern 3 boxes with the chop zone? Email Ron, R-O-N, at Back to the Future Trading, and he can tell you about that. It's not mainstream. It's something that was legacy that a few people have been using over the years, and so I don't talk about it here. Yep. But he can tell you how to get it. It's no big deal. Excellent. All right. I appreciate all of you guys. I'm going to start to wrap it up here. I don't like to go past the hour mark because I know a lot of you have lives, and the last thing you need to do is sit here and listen to me. In conclusion, you can know in advance when the market is likely to go up or down in the future. Every one of these charts has the signals waiting for us on the right-hand side. These signals aren't manufactured by some black box algorithm. They don't come out of my guru rear end. They are only here because the banks do this. They have a plan every day. No matter who's talking, no matter what report is coming out, there is a group of powerful people who know which stops they're going to take out and what direction they're going to run. If you would like to know what they're thinking, the technology is here. It's not artificial intelligence, but man, 22,000 lines of code. There's a lot going on right there. Leonard, it goes back several weeks. No, not anymore. The patterns change so frequently that we only need a small subset of data. We only have to intercept the most recent communications. Yeah, if you try to add more, it won't work, believe it or not. We learned that lesson about 14 years ago. I love you guys. I appreciate you, long-term customers. You might be getting calls from Charlie or David with opportunities for additional training, following up, making sure you're doing okay. Please respond to those guys. New customers, if you're interested in Warp, you've been getting emails and phone calls from David. He's our in-house administrator. He helps onboard people, find ways for them to get the program in their hands and start using it. Please continue to work with him. He is awesome. Trust him implicitly. So if he gives you an offering or he's trying to help you get started, he's got full authorization to do that, and he works with us. But you got to respond. You got to talk to him. Don't ghost him. That's like the worst thing you can do. May the wind be at your backs. May the golden sun shine upon your glorious, handsome, beautiful faces. May the luscious green valleys rise up to meet you. May the jagged, rugged mountain peaks lay low before you on your journey as you go. I wish you peace, prosperity, hope, fellowship, joy. I wish an awareness of time's passing. Make the most of every moment above ground. We're not dead yet. There's so much money to be taken back from these people. We are a fleck of dandruff in the hair of a flea on a giant dog. They don't know about us. They don't care about us. But there are thousands and thousands of dollars to be made doing what the banks do when they do it, if you only believe that it's happening. If you don't think it's happening, if you don't believe they're doing it, if you believe in the sugar fairy and Santa Claus, I got nothing for you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep taking free trials. Keep buying $95 indicators and $50,000 courses. And I'll see you in a year or two when you come to the ultimate realization that time is the most important factor of all. God bless. I love you guys. We'll see you next week. And if any of you have any questions or problems, please, 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 please reach out to me and let me know. And thanks, Earl. I just saw your comment. That's cool. Please let me know if you need any help. Michael at backtothefuturetrading.com, and I'm here to help whatever you need. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.